Okay, the Spirit Award will not be given in the next 5 minutes, so we can all take a deep breath. Woo! So, hello and welcome to the 2016-2017 Second Annual Jefferson County Schools Convocation. Thank you so much to everybody for their fantastic level of enthusiasm coming in here, picking each other up. And before we get started, I recognize it's, as with everything that we do, we always have positive intent. Not everything works out perfectly, but like everything else, the same thing we teach kids, we're gentle with each other, we forgive, and we move on together, okay? So, in that same vein, if Miss Tabitha and the other students could join me up here, in the same vein of every year when we do something, we come back and we get better. Very first thing that I want to start with this year is something that we overlooked last year. If you could please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much to our Jefferson High School student. And actually, a great big thank you before we even get started. Look around and you'll see a number of both Washington High School and Jefferson High School students with shirts that say JCS Television. They've been here since 9 a.m. getting ready for you. Okay, and this lovely air-conditioned venue would not have been possible without the generosity of our partners here at Shepherd University. They actually are welcoming back students tomorrow, I believe, and they were gracious enough to come in and set up and do all this, and the minute you leave, they've got to take all this down and set it up for students, but they very graciously both gave us this space and turned it over to us, so I'd like to introduce Mr. Bill Summers.
Come here. Wow, that's all I gotta say is wow. Good afternoon. On behalf of Shepherd University's president, Dr. Mary Hendricks, faculty, staff, students, welcome to our beautiful Shepherd University campus, and thank you for being here today. Much like all of you, we've been preparing for our students to return. We have our student athletes that are already on campus, hard at work practicing, band members, student resident assistants, etc. By the week's end, we're going to have about 1,000 new students who are going to be checking in on campus. So it's a busy time, much like all of you have been preparing for the return of your students. Once your school year settles in, please know that the faculty and staff here at Shepherd University are here to help you help your students be successful. Anything we can do, bring them on campus for a visit, do anything that, rely on us to help you out in any capacity that we can. We know, or I know, that everything that all of you do, each one of you as an individual, is important and has an impact on the student's success. And I personally want to thank you with kids in the high school system, in the middle school system, and so forth, that everything that you do is meaningful, and I want to thank you for that tireless commitment to those students. I'm not going to be here to talk more than just to say welcome to Shepherd University. Have a great convocation, pep rally, call it what you want, and have a very, very successful school year. Thank you.
Okay, and now a man who probably needs no introduction, but I'll do it anyway. We, like every other school system, are led by an elected board that the citizens ask to represent them and do their duty. They have very difficult jobs, have to make a lot of tough decisions during the year, and they are well represented and well led by Mr. Scott Suddeth, the chair of the school board.
Thank you, Dr. Gibson. This is amazing. It's so great to see all of you, and on behalf of the board and the community, thank you. Thank you so much for not only what you do for our students, our children, but the enthusiasm that you bring here and that I know you bring every day, even when it's not so easy, but we know you bring it. And I must say, what really excites me is that I have a son going in middle school. I have a son entering high school, and they are excited about school. They are excited about school starting, and they're excited because of you. And as a parent, I am deeply grateful, as I know many parents, all parents should be, but they're excited because you make it that way for them. So thank you. Have a great school year, and we'll do all we can to have your back. Where is Kathy Skinner? Vice President of the School Board, Kathy Skinner.
Good afternoon. I don't know about any of you, but I do know that watching the Olympics has been a nonstop activity in my house for the past 2 weeks. Watching the successes, failures, celebrations, and heartbreaks have become a daily event. Becoming an Olympic athlete not only takes talent, but tremendous dedication. I can say the same for all of you. Not that you can take on Michael Phelps in the pool, but we would happily have you go head-to-head in competitive teaching against any other school system. We have some of the most talented and dedicated staff out there. Your dedication is reflected in the pride we take in our facilities, our state-recognized graduation rates, our increasing test scores, our competitive arts programs, and our proven sports programs. Oh, and here is my favorite this year, our technical ability to send home a piece of paper with information to be verified rather than a 3-page form to fill out per child. And having 4 kids in your system, that's a huge deal. But most importantly, you never forget the happiness and well-being of our children. Just like in the Olympic Games, here in Jefferson County, our students will have successes, failures, celebrations, and heartbreaks. How we, their role models, react to these successes and failures will define our children. You may not leave your career with 20+ gold medals, but you will leave with the satisfaction of knowing that you have helped grow our children from eager yet hesitant kindergartners to eager yet hesitant high school graduates who will become our future teachers, doctors, first responders, artists, and maybe even school board members. Okay, so maybe school board member may not be the most exciting or glamorous goal to strive for. You may be the encouragement behind, let's say, an actual Olympian athlete. It would not be the first time Jefferson County Schools was represented in the Olympics, thanks to James Jett. And trust me, I know all about James Jett. My husband, Andrew, claims to have taught him everything he knows about running from being on the Jefferson High track team together. Actually, I know that's extremely unlikely, and I know it's not accurate, but let's just keep that a secret between us. As the song goes, I believe the children are our future. You are the group that is responsible for molding them and helping them discover their potential. We are headed in the right direction with plenty of momentum. I'm excited about where we are and where we are going. Thank you for all you do, and have a great year. And now I'd like to introduce a fellow board member, Mr. Gary Cable.
I'm glad to be here and have this opportunity to kick off our new school year. I'm sure you have noticed the air conditioning. Say thanks to Dr. Gibson and Shepard for allowing us to use this facility. I think everybody's enjoying it. While we'll have a fun time this afternoon, there's a serious side too. In a meeting with Senator John D. Rockefeller IV back in the 90s, when he was speaking on public office, or for running for public office, he advised that if you really want to have an impact on the future, run for school board. I'm afraid I have to disagree with that, although the school board is important. If you really want to have an impact on the future, be a teacher in a public school. As Mr. Lynch stated in the new teacher banquet just last week, your students need you. They depend on you. If you are not there, that part of their education is lost, never to be recovered. We are now ranked in the top 3 in the state of West Virginia. We can be number 1, and the board would like for us to be number 1 not only in West Virginia, but in the entire region, and we can do it. The board and the administration are working hard towards that goal, and I know you are too, because our scores are coming up, and you are the ones that do that. We try to make it possible for you, but you're the ones that actually do it. So give yourself a pat on the back, keep working hard. We'll do everything we can for you, and have a good year.
And now Mr. Mark Osborne, member of our school board. I should have known you truly needed no introduction.
Welcome to the 2016-17 Convocation. I'm going to be very brief because I've sat in your seat and I know that you have 10,000 things on your mind that you have to do back at school. I commend you on the significant increases in the area of student achievement that we've made, especially in the area of mathematics, and that's because of you sitting there. Another area of progress in Jefferson County, we have steadily increased the graduation rate over the last several years. We need to continue to be frugal and efficient in our use of all of our resources. Funding sources are shrinking, and we continue to move more students in with greater needs. Your jobs are difficult and challenging. I'd like to thank every one of you for the job that you do for Jefferson County schools. Thank you.
Well, hello. Woo, this is so great. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Laurie Ogden. I'm another school board member, one of 5, and I'd like to welcome you. And first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for giving me the privilege to serve you. I really appreciate it. As we begin another school year here in Jefferson County, I say welcome to you because you all work hard to ensure our students' success and that you leave a positive imprint on each and every one of our students. Thank you to that maintenance staff for those great floors and paint I've seen over the last couple of weeks going in those buildings. I want to say thank you so much to the mechanics for all those maintenance trucks that are working to get all that work done. And that you've prepared our bus drivers and our buses ready for school. Woo! Albert Einstein once said that education is what remains after one has actually forgotten what they've learned in school. At the end of the journey, for each student, it will not be the information that they were able to reiterate that connects them to the memories of Jefferson County schools. It will be the favorite bus driver that made them feel welcome and smiled when they were picked up. It will be the cafeteria staff that always made sure, woo! They gave them that little extra if they were hungry, and they didn't make them feel bad when their parent wasn't paying the lunch bill. How about that custodian that says hello to them in the hallway? And they help to see those students each year, helping with their lunch trays even at lunchtime. It will be the teacher who sees past the attitude the student showed up with, but instead develops their full potential and helps them believe in themselves. Way to go! It will be the nurses, the counselors, the media specialists, or the office staff that met that emergency. Woo! That emergency need at that time seemed as though it was at the end of the world. It will be the coach that saw each athlete as his or her own child and worked to mold them into great men and women for the future. It will be the teacher's aide in the classroom. Woo! That help them identify the missing link for a student to accomplish something that they have never been able to do before. It was the administrator that became a life breath of a school, and each and every student knew. Each and every student knew that they wanted nothing but success for them and life updates to celebrate with them for all their joys and successes along the road. You have heard the board speak of our appreciation of the hard work and dedication of every single one of you in this audience. As you have yet another opportunity to leave your imprint, we are mindful that we have arrived at this point, in part, based on the efforts and sacrifices of individuals who are no longer with us. Let us take a moment to recognize their contributions and to acknowledge our loss for those that we have had to say goodbye to this year and that have left an imprint on many of you. Would you bow your heads, please? Thank you. And moving forward, I'm reminded of the words of John F. Kennedy, who stated, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to actually live by them. It is my hope that we honor those on whose shoulders we stand, not just by our words, but through our deeds, on behalf of all of Jefferson's families. Thank you so, so much. Have a great year.
I like my school, Shepherdstown Elementary, because of my teachers. My teacher from 4th grade, Miss Oster, she always had a smile on her face, and it makes me happy to see that, and it puts a smile on my face, so I'm usually happy for the rest of the day, even when I get home.
20+ years ago, when I started driving a bus, I thought my job would be to drive children to and from school safely. I quickly learned that wasn't the case. Not only would I need to be the bus driver, but I would also be a mom and wipe their tears, a nurse and bandage their boo-boos. I very quickly learned to not let kindergarten students know I had Band-Aids. Over the years, I've learned that myself and my fellow drivers play a very important role in the lives of these children. By providing them with a positive and safe environment on the bus, we give them a jump start to their day.
I've been teaching the past 8 years at Washington High School, and one of the greatest aspects about teaching there was the relationship I could build with Kathy Junkins, my department chair in social studies. She just had a passionate, caring attitude, was always helpful and considerate, and I really owe a lot to her in developing myself as a social studies teacher. I also have to owe thanks to the administration at TA Lowry. They're just a great bunch of women who have helped my wife out through pregnancies, and they are just great to my children, ensuring that my kids get a top-notch education. And finally, I'm now starting this fall at Harpers Ferry Middle School. And I have to say that I've never seen a greater, kinder bunch of people willing to help their teachers out. So I thank the administration and the secretaries and the custodians at Harpers Ferry Middle School.
Last year during football season, I suffered from heat exhaustion during one of our marching band performances. And Miss Hazlett took me and while I was shivering and shaking from the heat exhaustion, took me and nursed me back to health while waiting for my parents to come pick me up. And I really appreciate just how she was there to help bring me back to health and just give me all the support that I needed.
When I think of Jefferson County Schools, I think of home and family. I am a product of Jefferson County Schools, and I think back to all of the wonderful teachers and people who guided me in my life. Many, many people come to mind. My children also were students in Jefferson County Schools, and they did quite well for themselves. And now my grandchildren are getting ready to start in Jefferson County Schools. So the school system is very near and dear to my heart. I'm also very, very honored and grateful to come back to a county and serve as the principal at South Jefferson Elementary. And hopefully something that I do and that the staff does, we can make a positive impact on the future generations of Jefferson County Schools.
one of the things that you've seen, and hopefully you'll notice a theme in this, is that if you're in the people business, it helps to have the best darn people, which is fabulous. And one of the things that we do every single year is that we honor our own and the best of the best in our schools. And I would very much like to please have you join me in welcoming and honoring our 2016 Service Person of the Year, Ms. Connie Citro.
I am very honored to be here today. I'm so thankful to be working and living in Jefferson County, and I know that my husband and I made the right decision when we moved here 22 years ago. Today I'm speaking to you as a mom and an employee. I have two wonderful sons, and I must give some of the credit to the teachers and team members of Jefferson County Schools for having a hand in molding them to be the successful, intelligent young men that they have become. My oldest son, Tony, which he graduated right here from Shepherd University. My son, Tony, works at USAMRID at Fort Detrick, and my youngest son, Daniel, will be graduating this coming spring from WVU as a doctor of pharmacy. I know I'm not the only one with these kinds of stories, and it just goes to show that every one of us has an opportunity to make an impact on a child. I hope that this year we can continue to inspire each other and our children to make a difference in our community. Let's remember, we are all in this together, and we all matter. Have an awesome school year. Go Charlestown Middle School!
You got a lot of support there, Connie. That's a lot of love in one place. In addition to our Service Person of the Year, every year we annually honor the Teacher of the Year. And this year, it is both my honor and my privilege to do two things. Number one, information that you already know, Mr. J.P. Lynch, band director at Jefferson High School. And the other of which you may not know because it was announced to us just last week, Mr. Lynch has been chosen as one of the finalists for the West Virginia Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, thank you. Dear colleagues, first of all, I want to let you know what an honor it is to work on this huge team called Jefferson County Schools with each and every one of you. Each one of us plays a key role in the lives of the children that we see each and every day. We are all necessary components of this collaborative effort that we make on behalf of students. In the end, we are Jefferson County Schools, and we do this for the children. Secondly, as we head back for another school year, I wanted to share a letter with you that I received from a former student in 2010 whom I had not had any contact with since 2001. The letter reminded me of the power that we all have as school employees to touch the lives of the students that we come in contact with. I was completely blown away by this letter. I had no idea that I had affected his life in such a way. Here is a condensed version of his message to me, and all of us could put your name on the top of this letter. Dear Mr. Lynch, For years, I have procrastinating in getting in touch with you. I felt a strong need to let you know how drastically you changed my life in a positive way. I will never stop fueling from the confidence you gave me throughout my time with you as an instructor. My whole career, I was pushed away and seen as a problem because I thought in a different way. For example, in first grade, my class was given a page with a pig to color, and I colored it with all different colors and made a landscape behind it. When I got mine back, after watching pink pigs and brown pigs being laid on desks all around me, I waited for mine, but with an evil eye, I was given mine last. I had failed the assignment. I later asked the teacher why I had failed, and she said simply because pigs are not those colors. However, I knew myself that that pig was by far the best pig in the class. At this moment, I knew that I was not only different, but I was right. Very strong-willed young man. As you remember, when I came to middle school, I didn't want to sing and dance, so I decided to pick up saxophone for music's sake. A year later, I found myself in your jazz band. All of the days after practice, when I would play the keyboard, I would see how genuinely interested you were in, even though it was simple then, what I was doing from my mind to the keys. To see someone I respected so much and had a relationship of learning and teaching show so much genuine interest in what I was doing, even though it was not traditional or classically based, made me flash pig picture. And it made sense. You, in my mind, confirmed that my pig was the best. You traveled back in the timeline of my psyche and gave me an A+ on that assignment. Practice after practice, I would play on that keyboard afterwards, and not to impress anyone, but for reassurance from you again that I was talented, although different. My mother, my friends, my piano teacher, and other people have been very supportive of my passion for music, but you are completely responsible for my irrational confidence in my spiritual self as a musician. You saw my talent in me, pulled it out, and showed it to me, and it is impossible for me to forget that. You have no idea how lucky I feel to have fate bring us together at that point in my life, and for you to be so open-minded and caring to do something as personal as change someone's entire life and help them greatly on the journey of finding themselves. Don't ever forget or take for granted the power you have as a teacher. Every day you have the power to change not only the future of music for generations, but also the world as a whole. Don't ever settle for mediocrity. I know you are not a traditional musician or teacher. As much as you can without crossing lines, color the pig whatever color you want. It's yours and no one else's, and the page is all white except for the blank lines. Sincerely, your student, Zach. I share this story as a reminder of the power that we all have to shape the lives of students that we see each and every day. I wish that I could say that I used some miraculous teaching technique to get through to this young man. That I was a great teacher. Believe me, I have no grand illusions regarding my teaching skills. Heck, I'm not even the best teacher in my own family, let alone my own home. I know that being named Jefferson County Teacher of the Year had more to do with the colleagues, parents, and students who surround me. I see it as a team award, and I've accepted the honor on behalf of the team. As for Zach, all I did was give him attention and show him that I was genuinely interested in him. I think that's what we all want from people, isn't it? To be accepted and respected for who we are. It's pretty simple. Zach's letter underscores the fact that everything that we say, everything that we do is digested by eager students who are taking in all that we do. You may never know for sure the difference that you've made in the life of a child until many years later, if at all. But rest assured, you are everything to these children. Make the most of every opportunity. You just never know when you are going to say something or do something that is going to change a child's life forever. Good luck and have a wonderful school year.
So, as we've been talking about for most of the time, this session is really about, we have some fabulous people who are helping us build a really great future for families here in Jefferson. And at the same time, we have to have a good balance between moving into that future and preparing kids for it the best that we can, and giving them a good anchor into our past and helping them have roots in this community and honor the people who built the things that we enjoy today. So one of the traditions that we started last year at Convocation was honoring the individuals in this school system who have been with Jefferson for 25 years or more, by providing them with a specialized pin that we had developed and decorated and made for us. And this year, we have 13 individuals who joined the ranks of people who have 25 years or more in Jefferson. And as I call their names, I'd like for them to stand up, please, and we can honor them. If I can get to the right page. Okay. Jacqueline Adams. Candace Breeden. Linda Butler. Cynthia Carper. Ann Gracie. Lisa Mason. Jocelyn Noland. Heather Pendell. Ann Portroy. Mary Ring. Carolyn Turner. Mary Wyatt. And Sandra Willingham. So once again, those, all of you will get your pins from the central office. I hope you wear them proudly, and I hope you, if you as an employee run into someone and you see them wearing one of those pins, that you thank them for their service to Jefferson County Schools and for the schools that we all enjoy today, because they spent 25 years building this place. Okay, so me and Mr. Perks are going to work collaboratively here together on this PowerPoint. Got you. So, first of all, most superintendents, part of what we do is storytelling. Now, those of you who've been in my office may say that's exactly right. But part of what we do as educators, as we do as administrators, as teachers, is talking to kids, educating future generations is about telling a story. It is about showing children their past. It's about letting them see opportunities for their future. It's about giving them information. So I'm going to spend a few minutes giving you information about Jefferson County Schools, showing you where we've been, showing you where we've going, so that we can all be on the same page moving forward. So one of the things that you've seen really clearly is that we have worked really hard to become one Jefferson. Regardless of where you start at in this county, regardless of what your last name is, regardless of whether you were born in Fox Glen or Huntfield or any other place in this county, you deserve the same opportunity for a great future. And we are going to do everything necessary to make sure that that happens. So, a couple of things about Jefferson. First, one of the things that you should know about Jefferson County Schools is that we are growing. So, one of the things that you'll see is that over the last 4 years, we've grown by an average of 97 students a year. At the rate that we're going in the next 8 years, we will have more than 10,000 children attending Jefferson County Schools. That's a lot of kids, okay? And those kids don't necessarily look like the kids that may have come here when you started teaching, all right? One of the things that folks may not know about Jefferson County Schools is that of the families who are here, of the families that are here, every other child who sets foot in your school qualifies for free and reduced lunch. This year, we hit 49.89%. Now, as somebody who grew up in poverty themselves, my mother didn't work. I lived in a trailer in South Georgia. I was the first person in my family to go to college. So let me just say, there is no shame in poverty. Those kids didn't put themselves there, but part of our job is to give them every tool they need to lift themselves out of it, okay? So we're a growing community with a growing level of need. A lot of these students as well have a great deal of additional special needs. One of the other things that's growing is our special education population. Children who are in poverty don't necessarily get all of the same nutrition, the same prenatal care, the same opportunities that their friends do. This past year, we went over 14.5% special education. Once again, those students, not their responsibility. They have what they have, they need what they need, but it requires additional support for them to be successful. One of the other populations that we have that has grown exponentially is our ESL population. Jefferson County Schools currently has the highest population of ESL students in the entire state of West Virginia. So for those kids, again, they have special needs. Those students need additional English language services. They're trying to learn a new language at the same time they're trying to learn the curriculum, so they need more help from us. But in the last 10 years, that's a 57% increase in ESL students. That means as we're growing, we're not just growing the same way, we have more kids and they have more needs. Now, in an ideal world, if you got a school system and they needed more and they had more kids, in an ideal world, what would happen is the state would give you more money. That is how things should work. It should just rain down like manna from the heavens. They should go, hey, guess what? Jefferson's got a lot more kids. They have a lot more needs. They should get more money. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Actually, it looks more like this. I will leave it to your imagination which one of those is the state of West Virginia and which one of those is Jefferson County. So the state clawed back another $700,000 from us this year. So not only in the past year did you have more kids, they were needier kids, you had less money to do it with. So we've been doing some juggling. And the reality is that for several years, we've been working at a deficit. The good news is that this board and you during the budget process worked really hard this year. And even though the state cut us $700,000, we added both teaching and service staff this year for kids. We cut $1.2 million out of our budget and hired more teachers and more service personnel. Now, the tough part is that one of the ways that we've been getting this done is by using our savings account. So, good news is that you had a board when times were better, who were prudent, they were fiscally prudent, and they saved up a lot of money. $6.5 million is a lot of money. But part of this is that every year they've been using that money bit by bit to help cushion the blow as our revenues fall off. Impact fees are down, the money from casino and gambling is down, the money from the state is down. Now, some of you are sitting here right now going, oh my God, Dr. Gibson, you're a real bummer. You're bringing me down. I thought this was supposed to be a pep rally. Well, part of this is, number one, I will take an ugly truth over a pretty lie any day of the week. It is what it is, okay? And so we're not gonna pretend like it isn't, but what I do want you to understand, and this is very, very important, all of this is a picture of this past year. You had more kids, you had needier kids, you had less money to do it with, and by any definition, if Jefferson County had just hung on and not gone anywhere, that would have been some level of success. If you'd just been able to manage to keep the status quo because things got harder and you had less money. But that's not what Jefferson did. I actually want to spend the next few minutes showing you what Jefferson did. So first of all, another fun thing that happened to us last year is the state said, hey, how about we send 3 teams of people into your school for a week and they come pick you apart, tell you what you're doing well, tell you what you're doing badly, and give you some feedback on that. And we said, thank you so much for that opportunity. So, as Jefferson always does, picked ourselves up by our bootstraps, and what they did, they had a team of people, 3 teams of people actually, come in with a fine-tooth comb. Every single one of your schools got rated in 27 different categories. You had to get every single one of those categories right, and every single person in your building had to get it in order to be distinguished. So what did you do? We managed to get in the top 5 in the state, most distinguished. Without a single, over 300 separate ratings that we got as a school system, not a single unsatisfactory. Not one. That is quite an accomplishment. Now, one of the other things, so we have people coming in from the outside saying, wow, you guys are doing a great job. But like anything else, we're our own toughest critics. So we looked at ourselves and said, what kind of job that we're doing? So one of the things that we look at is our discipline statistics. When you get kids in, you ask yourself, okay, You've got a set of kids who may not have had the same support at home. We would have been perfectly justified. We had almost 100 more kids last year. And guess what we did? 10% drop in discipline across the entire school system. So one of the things for you to see is that when you got these kids in, and they were really needy kids, instead of blaming them, you pulled them up. You said, I've got you. I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna help you. A 10% drop in discipline is amazing. You guys need to give yourselves a hand. That is huge. But at the end of the day, we actually happen to be a school system. We don't make Volvos. We don't make cheeseburgers. We make human beings. So one of the things that we do is we educate folks. So we look very, very closely at our performance statistics. And I will go ahead and say this up front. I have a kid myself in Jefferson County Schools. They are more than a test number. That's an absolute. There's a lot more to them than that. But these are statistics that we need to look at to know how successful that we're being. And where's my right Denny folks out here today? So I would also like to point out for the folks here who may not know, we had one school this year, despite my son's best efforts, who had absolutely no in-school or out-of-school suspension for a single student all year long. Right, Denny? And Mr. Mahoney's up there saying to the guy next to him, yeah, I thought about it. But he was that close. He was that close. I appreciate it. So one of the things that you look at when you're looking at statistics is how we're performing. So if you look at our WVGSA scores, which have come out in the last couple of weeks, our scores collectively, where are my elementary folks at? So, if you add up how far above the state average we are for language arts and math, we are 21 percentage points above the state, rest of the state in language arts, and 20% in math. So, where's my third grade teachers at? Third grade only. Talk it up. So, my third grade folks, and I just want to make sure that I get this absolutely right. My third grade folks, your math scores, your gains were 4 times what the rest of the state was for third grade math. As a matter of fact, all but one grade in the entire school system made greater gains in math than the rest of the state. When you put your mind to something, you do a heck of a job at it. Give yourselves a hand. So you got to know what's coming next. Where's my middle school at? Okay, so middle school this year, we outgained the state 23 percentage points higher than the rest of the state in language arts, 15 percentage points higher in math. And my 8th grade folks, where's my 8th grade folks? Woo-hoo! Double the rest of the state gains in your language arts scores. Nicely done. Nicely done. And of course, the only place to go from middle school is high school. Climb those stairs, Mr. Perks. Bring him on up. So at the high school level, once again, so for my 10th grade not only made gains, they outgained the rest of the state in English language arts, math, and science. Math, so here's the math teachers. Math teachers. 10th grade, double the rest of the state's gains. 10th grade science, 6 times the rest of the state's gains. And as an added bonus, language arts, 7 times the gains of the rest of the state. So, you know, those kind of numbers, when we were already ahead of the rest of the state, we outscore the rest of West Virginia every single grade level, every single subject. We already did. This year, when the state made gains, we not only made gains with them, we outpaced them. We had like a Ledecky kind of year, let me just tell you. We set a record. 67% of all of the testing that we did by grade level, by subject, we not only made gains, we outgained the rest of West Virginia. And ultimately, at the end of the day, what's the purpose of all of these tests? What's the purpose of all of the education? Yes, Mr. Right! So, at the end of the day, the reason that we do this is this, people. 91% graduation rate. So I will simply point out that the West Virginia just got the highest graduation rate they've ever had, 86%. Blew that away. We are actually 10 percentage points higher than the nation in our graduation rate here in Jefferson County Schools. So what I hope that you see from these statistics is that when things got harder and you had less resources to succeed with, by God, you picked yourself up by your bootstraps and you succeeded anyway. If nothing else, you model every single day what it is that you want kids to be able to do in their lives. You don't control the State Department, how much money they give you. You don't control the legislature. You don't control all these things out here. And they can make things feel hard, but let me say, what you do control, you are pretty doggone good at. So one of the things that I want for you is to give some thought to this school year. I've talked a lot about where we've been and the successes that you've had, and I hope that what you see is that that's a good launch point for us to talk about what we expect for the future. So anytime that we're talking about the future is projective, okay? It's a blank slate. We have no idea what it's going to hold for us, all right? But you have a choice because it's a blank slate. You can either project your highest hopes onto that, or you can project your darkest fears onto that, all right? Those are the choices that you make. And as for me, quite frankly, me and 9,148 other parents who are going to turn over their most precious assets to you starting tomorrow, my hope for you is that you choose hope for a brighter future over your fear for a darker one, all right? So every time you have a choice this year, choose hope for yourself, choose hope for your students. I hope that what you've seen today is how amazingly capable you are of changing lives. And that's exactly what we're here to do, and we have absolute faith in you that that's how we will proceed this year, with hope, okay? So it's always helpful when you get to see an example of you did all of this hard work on with kids, you put all this time and effort into them, and by God, they turned out great. Things went wonderfully. And we actually have an example of that here today. So we have Mr. Paul Espinoza Jr., who joins us today to serve as our MC. Mr. Espinoza is a J High grad, woo-woo, who continued his education at WVU and spent 3 years at WHAG covering sports. These days, he's down at the Charlestown racetrack, which I am sure they would welcome a visit anytime. And he's here today to help us honor you for some of the great things that you've done this year.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gibson. We got the shout out in for J High, but also got to recognize my folks out of South Jefferson where it all started. And then after that to Charlestown, so. I'd also be remiss after the powerful message from Mr. Lynch that the teacher who I would write my letter to, he's actually here in the building, and since I don't have a pen and paper in front of me, I do, but I have a microphone instead. He's right behind this curtain. It's Mr. Perks. I try to steer clear of hyperbole when possible, but truly I wouldn't be where I am today without that guy behind the curtain. He came to me in 8th grade at Charlestown and asked if I wanted to do the sports on JCS 19 at the time. And so I was like, sure, that seems like a good idea. Little did I know that the next 4 years of high school would just be amazing, and I have him solely to thank for that. So Mr. Perks, I know you're back there. Well, certainly I'd say that the theme today, we'll continue that. You guys are awesome. Seriously, you guys are awesome, and I did some research to back that up. So let's get to some of the major accomplishments that you all have achieved this year. We'll start with Blue Ridge Primary. In its 4th year, the Leader in Me program, utilizing the 7 Habits of Happy Kids, decreased discipline rates by 90%. 90%. Let's give it up for Blue Ridge Primary. Blue Ridge Elementary is next. They were selected by Ecolab as a recipient of the 2016-2017 Visions for Learning Grant Program. Blue Ridge Elementary. Next up, C.W. Shipley Elementary. Students started a STEAM club during the 2015-2016 school year. One of their projects included developing a privacy screen for the nurses' station. C.W. Shipley Elementary. to a school that wasn't around when I was in school, Driswood Elementary. The 2016 OEPA Best Practice Recognition recipient, Driswood Elementary. Next up, North Jefferson Elementary. They are home to a Young Writers Competition finalist during the 2015-2016 school year, North Jefferson. I'm seeing Mr. Kiter, he switched from the south side to the north side on me here. Page Jackson Elementary is next. They raised $1,928.21 for the Martin's A+ program, Page Jackson. We move on to Rancid Elementary. They promoted an active lifestyle for students celebrating National Bike to School Day and National Walk to School Day. Let's give it up for Rancid Elementary. Next up, Shepherdstown Elementary. They celebrated students through the Good Citizens program during the 2015-2016 school year, Shepherdstown Elementary. Next up, back to the original alma mater, South Jefferson. They raised, get this, over $16,000 for the American Heart Association during the 2015-2016 school year. South Jefferson. Beep, beep. Next up, we have T.A. Lowry Elementary. They came well prepared today. Home to 12 Apprenticeship for Child Development Specialist graduates during the 2015-2016 school year. Next up, we have Wright Denny Intermediate. Almost got me there. Students collected 878 pounds of food for the local food pantry during the 2015-2016 school year. And did all that without getting in trouble. That's impressive. All right, we move on to the next alma mater, Charlestown Middle. It was Charlestown Junior High whenever I started there, home to 4 2015-2016 Golden Horseshoe winners. Give it up for the Panthers! Harpers Ferry Middle School is next. They were home to 4 first-place winners at the 2015-2016 Jefferson County Junior Science Fair. Harpers Ferry. Shepherdstown Middle School. Home to the 2015 MAC football champions. Charlestown, y'all let them get good at football? That was nice. Just kidding, just kidding. Wildwood Middle School. I kind of went there. When I went to Wildwood, it was the 9th grade complex. They were the host of the STEM program, Sea Perch, and innovative underwater robotics program. Give up for Wildwood. J High. Jefferson High School, they were home to a West Virginia Teacher of the Year finalist, Mr. J.P. Lynch. I've obviously got to rep my Cougars, but where I would have gone if it had been there in time, Washington High School. The Microsoft Academy awarded over 100 certifications in the 2015-2016 school year. Give it up for Washington. Y'all just have 2 more years of Espinosa to deal with, and then we're done. All right, 2 more. That's it. All right, we move on to the Opportunity Learning Center. 97% of the OLC students were successful and returned to their home school with improved grades, decreased disruptive behaviors, and previously failed credits recovered. OLC! Down with OLC, yeah, you know me. The Child Nutrition Department. They served, get this, 587,025 breakfasts and 974,387 lunches during the 2015-2016 school year. Give it up for the Child Nutrition Department. Next up, our amazing maintenance department. They installed LED lighting that has cost savings of $700,000 over the next 10 years. Some serious cash right there. A lot of teachers' jobs indeed. All right, two more. The transportation department. This blew my mind. This blew my mind. JCS buses traveled approximately 1,602,702 miles last year. That equates to over 3 trips to the moon and back. A special thank you to the transportation department. And finally, the central office. They reduced central office positions and contract days by $339,282 to save 6 teaching positions. A special thank you to everyone that you see up here, everyone out in the stands for doing what you do. You guys truly are the best. I thank you for allowing me to live the life that I do. And again, with that being said, I'll hand it back over to Dr. Gibson.
Woohoo! Thank you. Okay. Yes, yeah. Thank you very much. This is actually the portion where we talk about our Spirit Award winners. Woo-woo! And that we know about you is that it's important that you recognize people for their passion and for their commitment. One of the reasons that we started the Spirit of Jefferson Awards last year was for this very thing. So we've done a couple of things since then. Actually, every single month at the school board meeting, we accepted nominations and chose one person to receive the Spirit of Jefferson Award because they were folks who we thought exemplified that passion and that commitment. So I'd like for you to help me give a big round of applause to our Spirit of Jefferson Award winners for the last year. Mr. Rob Perks, our very first inaugural Spirit of Jefferson Award winner. Beth Manzik at South Jefferson Elementary. Juanita Smallwood at South Jefferson Elementary. Shelly Spitzer, Blue Ridge. Wendy Keefe, T.A. Larry. Dan Lucas, Transportation, Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round. Rachel Allen, Charlestown Middle. And Catherine Athey at Shepherdstown Middle. So this year, an absolutely wonderful thing. You may not always know this, but God, people pay so much attention to you, and they honor you in ways that you don't always see. So this year, we had a parent who came in and was just really profoundly touched by the level of care and support that their children have been given in Jefferson County schools, and they gave us a rather large donation for us to be able to do something special this year. So throughout the 2016-2017 school year, every single month, we will award one Spirit of Jefferson Award for service personnel and one for professional personnel, and each one of those will be accompanied by a $100 check. So don't think that people don't notice and appreciate what you're doing every single day and want to honor you. So all of that to say, this year, our very first convocation, we kicked all of that off with a Spirit of Jefferson Award. We had our inaugural winners, T.A. Larry! Our 2015 Spirit Award winners. At the time, we did not have hardware, which we've added. This lovely Spirit of Jefferson Award says the Spirit of Jefferson, engage, inspire, elevate, which is exactly what we do for students every single day. And we appreciate the joy and the enthusiasm that you bring to this. And oh my God, I love you, Miss Bub. Hold it down, baby, hold it down. Hold it down. So we deeply appreciate the spirit and the passion that you bring to this every single year. A reminder that the Spirit of Jefferson Award winner, we purchase a pizza party for the entire staff. And this year, they will take home this lovely trophy. So I am pleased to announce, drum roll please, this year's Spirit of Jefferson Award winner for Convocation, Ransom! Woo!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. On behalf of the #1 Ransom Elementary Rockets, we thank you.
Thank you for not dropping the mic. Appreciate it. So the reality is that if you bring the same level of passion and enthusiasm and love and, quite frankly, joy to your work every day, every single one of you win and every single kid in Jefferson wins. So we will have a wonderful, fantastic 2016-2017 school year. You will be fabulously successful on behalf of both the administration and every parent in Jefferson County schools. We love you and you're fabulous. Godspeed.
So one of the really great things about teaching in Jefferson County are the wonderful men and women that I work with. My professional colleagues, including teachers and administrators at Wildwood Middle School, as well as at other schools. In particular, the administrators at Wildwood Middle, I feel, are always trying to help us get to that point where they can say yes. And when I wanted to start a computer science class, a computer coding class, Patricia Brockway and Carla Gano and Jody were just so helpful in helping me get it organized and getting students involved with it. I have a fabulous colleague, Caroline Moffitt, who's like the yin to my yang. She's an excellent scientist and has just been a great person to work with and work together. When I first started teaching, I couldn't have survived if it hadn't been without Alice Dillow leading by example and helping me find things that were going to work and that were going to work with the constraints that we have during the school day. And then I've just been really fortunate to have a very dear personal friend who's also a professional teacher here in Jefferson County, Monica Grabowska, who's been sort of my creative muse and helped me develop projects with her and help my students work with her students. So those are just some of the amazing things that we're able to do because people work together. And Jim Watkins, the IT support person for Wildwood Middle, has always been so helpful in helping me try out some new projects, bringing some new ideas to try, and so both my students and I have benefit from his input into the science classroom.
Several teachers come to mind when I think of Jefferson County Schools, but one in particular is my 7th grade teacher, Mrs. Burnett. I always felt comfortable going to her if I ever needed help with something, and she was always there to help me. And it just gave me a sense of, that if I was ever in trouble, she would be there to help me, even if it wasn't with English, if I was having trouble in another subject. But another one that comes to mind is my 6th grade English teacher, Miss Sperry. She was very bright and cheerful, and if I was ever having an off day, she was there to, lift my spirits, which I was very thankful for because not all teachers and not all people can be that way. And if I felt I needed, emotional support with something, she was there for me, and I'm very thankful for that.
School health is a department that's very dependent on the community to be successful. And Jefferson County Schools is the kind of community where school health can be successful.
The staff's very helpful in making sure that you have everything that you need through the year, and if you need, if you need something, they help. They try to help you find what you need, and they got, they treat the children with respect, and they try to make sure that the kids have everything that they need during the year, and it's just a real good group of people.
I think the greatest influence in my life has been my mother, Betty J. Roper, who also taught in Jefferson County for over 41 years. And she was such a great influence and inspired me to come back to Jefferson County to further reach my career here. I taught with my mom for 7 years at Wright Denny School, and she was such a great role model for me and inspired me to do the best I can and to be a positive role model for the students that I was teaching. My mom taught, and after she retired in Jefferson County, she actually subbed at my school for over 8 years at Ranson Elementary. When my mom passed away, she happened to pass on the first day of school in August 2001. And she really instilled in me what the goal is of being an educator. Hopefully that I have taken on that goal, and in overall summary of my education, I read a quote once that sums up how I feel about the role I currently play. And it said, the key to student success is being in a great school. The key to a great school is having caring teachers. And the key to caring teachers is having a supportive, inspiring, and encouraging principal. I hope throughout the years of my modeling, what my mother has taught me, and the support of my school, that I can once be remembered as Deborah Corbett, that supportive, inspiring principal.